Hi everybody at Weeksville Elementary. I am Bayla Coker. I am in the 4th grade and I will be telling you the Pledge of Allegiance. Put your hand over your heart. Here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic with which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Today is Veterans Day. We support all the veterans that have served for our country. We thank you so much, veterans.
Day.
We just wanted to wish you all a very happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day, everyone.
Happy Veterans Day!
Happy Veterans Day!
I'm really excited to be here today to talk about veterans.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know my father was a veteran?
Really?
And my grandfather was a veteran?
Where?
And my uncle?
Oh, wow.
But you know some really other important veterans besides people like that? And people like my husband who are also veterans?
Yeah. Tell us.
Our families. I was just deployed for an entire year away from home. And it was really hard to be away from me, but it was exceptionally hard for my family.
Wow, I can't believe that.
I know, and they worked really hard to support me. So I want people to remember this Veterans Day. It's kind of about us, but it's really about those who support us, our families, and those who love us. So to all you military families and all you kids working really hard to support your loved ones in the military, I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. And our heroes, you are our heroes. Yeah. And thank you too, Miss Tammy. Yeah,
Absolutely.
You so much.
Thank you.
you veterans for joining us this evening. Will you please tell us your name?
Okay, I'll go first. I am Staff Sergeant Troy Palantonio, and I am a flutist in the United States Army Field Band.
Okay.
I am Sergeant First Class Retired Don Francisco. I'm a fifer at George Washington's Mount Vernon. And Staff Sergeant Palantonio and I worked together before.
Woo!
All right. And I am Petty Officer First Class of the United States Coast Guard, Chris Canales.
Okay. Tell me why you joined the military.
Okay, well, I have to tell you that I never envisioned myself being in the military, even though my dad served in the Air Force National Guard. I also have two grandfathers that served in World War II in the Navy. But I never thought I was going to join the military, and I was just kind of getting by with jobs, paying the bills and things like that. I'd been a musician my whole life. And then the opportunity came up at the right time when I needed it, and I needed to find an opportunity for myself. And it was the right thing to do to try out for a military band job. So I joined in 2010, not realizing how far I was going to go with it. And here I am 10 years later with lots of stories to tell.
Right. What about Mr. Don?
Okay.
Well, sure. I have an interesting little path. So right out of high school, when I graduated, 17 years old, I was wanting to go to college, but things didn't quite work out and it was a little complicated. And then a recruiter came to my high school and talked about the military bands. And I like running and being in shape and exercising. So this was really a win-win for me. I get to exercise, I get to play music, and I get paid to do it. And I love my country. So I'm like, cool, I get to travel, get to meet some really beautiful people, men and women in the armed forces. So I joined for music, patriotism, and travel. I love traveling.
And then my story, I went to college out of high school, and I started off in music, and I didn't see a lot of future for me in music. So I knew that the military was the way for me. It was either going to be music or aviation. I love airplanes. So I chose Coast Guard because the thought of saving people in the ocean was really cool mission to me. So to fly and save people at the same time seemed like a perfect job.
Thank you. Those are all very interesting. What was boot camp like?
Boot camp, so basic training. Yeah. Well, I think everyone's got a crazy basic training story. And I mean, it is one of the most grueling challenges you will ever face in your life. Mine was 10 weeks long back in 2010. And I think if I tell anybody anything about my experience in basic training, and especially if they're going to be going through it also, that it's an experience where you get broken down to your, like, the foundation of who you are, and you get built back up, and you find out a lot about what you're made of. And you usually find out that you're a lot stronger than you ever thought you were. And you come out of it with a lot of strengths as well. So, I mean, it was a lot of no sleep, you're always hungry, and always, you know, people yelling in your face, trying to get you to do things. You're never right. It doesn't matter if you are right, you're still wrong. And you get broken down into someone that knows how to follow orders, knows how to be a team player, and knows how to be patient and to, you know, place the task that you've been handed first and just get things done. So I guess that was what my basic training experience was like and what I came out with from it.
My basic training experience was scary, exciting, interesting. I was one of the youngest ones in basic training. I had some men that were in their 30s in basic training. So it was already.
Yeah, I was 30 when I went through basic training. I was one of the older ones.
Oh, wow. So yeah, they looked at me like a kid. And the drill sergeants yelling at me. I enjoyed running, getting my stress out that way. But polishing my boots and all these things and staying up overnight, guard duty, fire watch, cleaning the latrines. It was challenging. Memorizing the alphabets like Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot. We won't go through all of them. It was a lot of information all at once. But I really did like the teamwork also because we carried each other. There were some things you could not do. You would fail if you tried it by yourself. It was to teach you to come together as a team.
Yeah, I think even though I went through a different boot camp, I remember being always hungry. I remember always being yelled at. And I remember how important teamwork was. And I remember it took my company a while to get the idea of teamwork. And that was one of the big lessons. And always, I think the biggest takeaway from boot camp for me was to ultimately, you're going to be held responsible for your own actions. And that made it very clear in basic training.
Cool. Where did you live and travel to when you were in the military?
Yep, I'll go
Where have you lived and traveled, Mr. Troy?
Yeah, Don and I have similar stories, actually. My very first assignment that I had after I went through basic training and also went to the Army School of Music was I traveled to South Korea, and I was stationed at Camp Red Cloud in Uijeongbu. So that's a little bit north of Seoul for the geography of it. I was there for about 9 months. And then I was lucky enough to have been given an opportunity to join the United States Army Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps, which is stationed just outside of Washington, D.C. So I lived in Arlington, Virginia. And while I was in that group, I was able to travel to Canada and also to Norway for international travels. I've also been to, various places across the United States, especially with my current job in the Army Field Band. Our mission as the ambassadors of the Army, the musical ambassadors of the Army, is that we specifically are supposed to travel around the country, and we regularly tour for about a month at a time, and we'll go to different regions of the country and spend about 30 days out there. So my very first tour that I went on was on the west coast of the United States. We started in Washington State and then went all the way down to Phoenix, Arizona. So we went through the entire west coast. It was amazing. And so, of course, right now, because of the coronavirus, our mission is very much virtual, and we're still reaching out as far as we possibly can. But normally our mission is to travel around the whole entire United States. And usually about every 2 to 2.5 years, usually the band will have traveled to all 50 states, or at least the 48 continental United States.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That's awesome. Well, the first time I flew on an airplane was in the military when I went to Texas for basic training. So that was Fort Bliss, El Paso, Texas, which is right on the border by Mexico, actually, Juarez. And I went to Fort Polk, Louisiana. And where did I go? Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Little Creek. And then I went to Korea, like Mr. Troy mentioned. And I did what they call temporary duty, a lot of different trips. Germany, Belgium. And one fun thing is when you go on the accidental trips and you get to go to another place you didn't know you would end up there. We went to New Hampshire, so I got to cross over the Piscataqua River and go to Maine. And I count down the states. I think I have 45 or 46 states. So there's only 4 or 5 more states out of the 50 to go to. I got Alaska and Hawaii out of the way. But just all kind of fun, neat trips. Bus rides, airplane rides, really cool. Germany.
That's great. I've been really lucky with the places I've been stationed. I started off in Hawaii, and then I went to Clearwater, Florida. And there I traveled all over the Caribbean, South America, and Central America. got to experience a lot of cultures down there, and then went back to Hawaii for 5 years. And there I got to travel to amazing Pacific islands. A lot of these islands is where World War II was fought, such as Midway and Palmyra, just all over the place. I got to travel to New Zealand, American Samoa, and it was really special to see all these places where our veterans of such a major war was fought. And now we live in North Carolina and get to see a lot more history all over the place, such as Yorktown and all over the place in this area.
Oh, did I forget to mention Japan, Korea and Japan?
Yeah.
And what was neat when I went to Japan was we just stopped by and it was fun. But the Korea, I got to learn some cultural language and foods, eat some delicious foods, and I brought home a living souvenir. My lovely wife.
Yeah.
Right. There you go. Pretty important detail there.
Don and Troy, could you please play me a song or show me
A fife. We don't know what a fife is, and Mr. Troy was talking about a fife.
Yeah.
Mr.
Well,
Troy, what's a fife?
yeah, both Don and I, and especially Don, he's got the whole collection back there.
Wow, that's very pretty.
Yeah. So it looks like you've got a bunch of the 6-hole fifes up there. And then what is the one on the bottom? Is that a 1-keyed flute that you have at the bottom? Or
Oh, this is a special one from Korea, actually. A little
okay,
bit.
it's a taigum?
And this was a special birthday present from a very special family you introduced me to. I wanted to.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah. I actually have the instrument that both Don and I played on in the Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps. So this is a 10-hole modernized fife, and the head joint is made out of pink ivory, and the body is made out of grenadilla wood. But yeah, this is the instrument that the Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps plays on. And I'll play you a tune called World Turned Upside Down, since that's kind of where we're at right now. So here we go.
That was awesome. That was.
Thank you.
No, I want you.
That is fantastic.
Wow.
Right. So we're talking, Mr. Troy, about some of the special people you might have gotten to meet in the military on your travels. Would you like to tell us about that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So definitely during my time in the Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps, which one of the most special people I met happened to be Don Francisco.
Hey.
Oh.
Checks in the mail.
Yes. But one of the things that the Fife and Drum Corps was tasked with doing is sometimes that we played ceremonies at the White House. So, and also, of course, playing for the inauguration every 4 years. So I've played on ceremonies for when Barack Obama was the president of the United States. And also I played for the current president, President Trump. And other presidents of other countries have been there before. The president of France, Emmanuel Macron, was there for one of the ceremonies. Also, president of Afghanistan was at a ceremony that we did at the Pentagon. So I've been in their presence before. And then, but one of the cool ones was there was an event for the Wounded Warrior Ride at the White House, and I happened to be one of the people who was in attendance for it. And this was during when Barack Obama was the president. And so both he and Joe Biden were there. And once the ceremony was over, they came and greeted the entire crowd and shook everyone's hand. So yes, I have shaken the hand of Barack Obama, and it was one of the coolest experiences of my life. And just, you know, one of those things where you never imagine you're going to be right there 5 feet away from these people that you sometimes only see on TV or just hear about.
Very cool.
That is cool.
How about
I've
you?
had some great experiences meeting my fellow soldiers, men and women of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and I even met someone that's going to be joining Space Force, believe it or not,
All
in the Air
right.
Force.
Cool.
But here's a special picture I'd like to show you. Miss Leilani, do you recognize the building here? Where are we?
The White House?
Very good. Now look a little closely. There's a lady in that picture.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's the Queen of England.
You would be correct. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. All righty. And that's our drum major. And then we are marching. Okay. And Mr. Troy has marched here before.
Yes.
So this was very special to be marching for the Queen of England. Now, what's the fun part is, this was when I was active duty. When I retired and worked at Mount Vernon, who's this person? That would be the
Charles.
You are right, the Queen's son. So he came to Mount Vernon to lay a wreath. Now I was at attention. I couldn't talk to the Queen.
Is that Camilla next to him?
That is. You're right.
See, I watched The Crown.
I think we saw Mr. Don in there too. Let's see Mr. Don again. There he is.
I was having a bad hair day.
We know him.
Well, what's neat also about meeting people is you have to practice what they call proper protocol and etiquette. I was not to reach out to shake or touch his hand. I would only reach back if he offered me his hand. And I had to address him, Your Royal Highness. So these are all things you learn in the military with protocol and proper procedures. So those are, and I got to play for Nelson Mandela, the late president of South Africa, and just a lot of other neat people.
Wow, that's incredible. I cannot compete with queens and presidents and kings, but I will say that some of the most special people that I've met, other than Mr. Don and Mr. Troy, is I'll echo what Mr. Don had said about my fellow brothers in arms. It's just incredible people that work for the military. And some of the other special people that I've got to meet is some of the survivors that I've actually got or had the opportunity to save on the seas. It's really special. It's not really a ceremony of any kind, but when you do get to meet somebody when you're flying overhead and when they're lost and their family doesn't think they're ever going to see them again, and you're the one that saves them, that's a really special thing. And to meet them is even more special.
Oh yeah, that's powerful.
That's great.
Awesome.
Can you tell me
Nice enough.
Can you tell me a funny story about something that happened while you were in the Army?
Too many.
Well,
Let me start.
I can tell you that usually the things that I think are funny, most people don't think are funny because I have really bad jokes. But that's one of the funniest things that I can tell you about is because I spent 7 years in the Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps. And so I wore out a lot of jokes. Like the wheels came off of all these jokes because I just ran them into the ground. And then when I joined the Army Field Band, all of a sudden I could tell all the same jokes all over again because it was new people. So one of my favorite ones is when I go out for a run or something and I'm in my physical training uniform and, we get all hot and gross and stuff. And so then I come in and I tell everyone like, hey everyone, I am fall and winter fashion. I am a sweater. And I'm like, it's brand new again. People can groan just as loudly as they did the first time.
How about you, Mr. C?
Yeah, so a game we play in aviation is when you're going somewhere else and you have to stop at another Coast Guard station, air station, or there's other airplanes, and you need to take on fuel, and if where you're going is too far, you need to spend the night there. The goal is to get your station So this was from when I was in Hawaii. We had stickers. And the goal was to get one of your stickers on one of their airplanes. And so you would either get it on their airplane, and then when you get back flying again, sometimes you would see their sticker on your airplane, and you hide it. And it could be where the fuel panel is. It could be where you sit. It could be where the bathroom is. It's a hiding game. And that's one of the fun things about traveling throughout the Coast Guard is finding where other people hide their stickers on your airplane. And you also have to get that sticker off because the upper guys don't like stickers all over their airplane.
Yeah.
So kind of like a treasure hunt?
Yeah, it's a treasure hunt. So you don't get in trouble.
A treasure gag.
Yeah. Great question.
Nice.
We are thankful for you and your service. We celebrate you and all the other members that have served their country. Do you have anything else you'd like to say to our Bulldogs before we end this interview?
Well, I can tell you something. The Army Field Band, since our mission is normally that we're traveling around everywhere to bring our musical message to the public, during this time, we've gone completely online to still do outreach to everyone. So if you want to catch a concert, basically every day we've been broadcasting since March of 2020. Tune into the Facebook page of the United States Army Field Band or go to our YouTube channel, and you can go and find interesting performances and even some of my bad jokes too, because actually tomorrow morning we're putting one out, and it's myself and another girl, and we're doing what's called a puntastic workout. So you can just imagine
Wow.
Do the sweater. Do the sweater.
yeah, exactly. It's jokes like that. But yeah, definitely go check it out because we just want to keep inspiring people, sending out a great message, and supporting the American people through our mission all the time, always ready, always out there helping people out. And very thankful to be included in this interview with you. So I hope you've had a great time.
Well, I like to just say to the Bulldogs, Veterans Day is very special, and sometimes people will confuse it with Memorial Day. Veterans Day is for those who are still with us, who are living. Memorial Day, we honor the fallen, those who have died, passed away. And Mr. Troy and I did a very special job at Arlington National Cemetery where we put flags by the graves, a whole lot of flags. So we honored the fallen. So don't mix up Veterans and Memorial Day. It's a nice Veterans Day, but you usually don't say Happy Memorial Day. You say have a blessed or a peaceful Memorial Day. And my final message to the Bulldogs is study hard in school, do well. You never know where your career is going to take you. Listen to your teachers. You have some awesome, beautiful teachers, very creative and all. No matter what you want to be when you grow up, you're going to have to know some math and reading and writing. So study hard, do well. And I'm so glad I got to do this interview. I want to thank the awesome, lovely Canales family. Thank you, Miss Jennifer. I salute you all. Sir Chris.
Well, Bulldogs, I will say go and watch the Army Field Band's online concerts because they're incredible. They're the world's best musicians.
They are.
And to echo what Don said, keep up your grades and don't forget about music. And third of all, the Coast Guard is in your backyard, Bulldogs. And whenever you see a Coastie walking around, a prior Coastie walking around, thank them. You don't know what they've done. They've flown all over the world. They've flown right off the coast doing extremely dangerous missions. So thank them. And maybe one day you'll be able to fly in those planes that are flying over your head when you're at recess. So keep at it, Bulldogs.
And I just want to add that, look at the 3 different uniforms. We didn't plan it like this, but you see all the different uniforms we have. So there's so many different jobs and careers.
I'm not sure if they can see mine.
We need a better picture.
You're hiding.
So yeah, I mean, study hard. there's military academies like the Coast Guard Academy and West Point and the Air Force Academy, the Naval Academy.
Yeah.
Great places.
And music schools, right? We get to go to school
Yes.
for music. That's right. Because it's really important for music for the military to operate.
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
Yeah. And what's interesting is that the question before about all of our basic training experiences is that no matter what your job is that you go into the military for, everybody goes through the same basic training so that we can all play a part of the team for whatever mission we're called upon. So even as musicians or going in to do pilot things or Coast Guard jobs, all of us go through a similar basic training so that we can all do the same mission.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. But I have one more thing. Troy, could
I'll
you
do it. Yeah.
another one of your jokes?
I will give you a preview of one of the jokes. So let me think. What was it? Oh yeah. So if you imagine, let me think. Oh yeah. So if you imagine that I have like a dumbbell weight in my hand, like a free weight. So I tell the other girl is Sergeant Flake. So I'm like, Sergeant Flake, can you help me out with this? I always feel like a dumbbell when I work out with these. And I make the face too.
God.
The face counts.
Yeah, the face always helps. It's all about expression.
Okay. I have a corny joke now.
All right.
Oh, jeez.
What do you get when you mix a sheep and a cow together?
What?
An animal in a bad mood.
Yeah. See, he's got bad jokes too.
I have one. What is Mickey's favorite
A
car?
minivan. It's a minivan.
I'm gonna say one, but Dad don't.
All right, go ahead.
Why can't Elsa hold a balloon? She'll let it go.
So let it go.
Let it go. Well, is there any random fun songs you'd like to play to end, or any fun facts you'd like to share before we close this wonderful meeting?
Yes, I have a favorite fifer in history, in music, in the military. There's a fifer named John Greenwood, and he was in the Revolutionary War, and he grew up and became George Washington's dentist. Now, George Washington did not have wooden teeth like a lot of people think. Mm-hmm. He had John Greenwood's teeth, Woods, W-O-O-D'-S, okay? Not wooden.
Oh. Yeah, because having wooden teeth, that would really bite.
Never stops.
These are lobbing them out there, okay?
Great.
My mom's getting something. I don't know what. But do you guys want to play us a song?
I'll play one, and then we'll let Mr. Troy finish. He's the top fifer man.
Yeah. And I'll finish us off with the song that the Continental Army played at the surrender of the British at Yorktown when we won the Revolutionary War. So this is Yankee Doodle.
Hi. And we match. We match fives.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it.
That's so awesome, Don.
Sounds great, guys. Sounds great.
Thank you, Mr. Chris, Mr. Jen. Miss Leilani, thank you for being a great interviewer.
You're welcome. I like all your outfits.
You can see me. Of course.
Anything else you want to say?
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Shout, counter marching all about.